Hi, I am Renmark, and welcome to our video tutorial about Java programming. In this video, we will talk about Lesson 19, which is constructors in Java. So let's get started. Right now, whenever we create an instance of a class, we create an unconfigured object. I mean, kunwari, gagawa tayo ng class na car. Tapos, nag-create tayo ng OD na object out of that car class. Yung magagawa nating object is plain object na walang naka-default na properties sa kanya kagaya ng color. So maybe, ang default na kulay niya will be equal to black, just like yung nandito sa picture. Although pwede naman natin siyang ipa-repaint afterwards, pero will it be more helpful na habang minamanufacture natin yung mismong car, gagawin na natin siyang kaagad na kulay red. Diba? Kaysa dun sa lalabas siya ng black, tapos pag dumating sa atin, dun pa lang natin siya i-repaint. If that will be the case, then yun yung actually topic natin for the day, and that will be constructors. Take a look at this figure. Unlike dati, na kapag mag-create tayo ng instance ng car class, laging color black yung magiging kulay niya. What if, sasabihan natin yung factory dun sa kung ano yung kulay na gusto natin. Constructor acts like factories. Sila ay may mga sequence of actions na pwede mong i-provide sa factory para paglabas ng item o ng object, okay na. Kagaya nito. So, we have the class, we have the pattern, nandito yung mga specifications. So, yung mismong factory, we can think of it as the constructors. Magsusupply ka ng value kagaya ng color, and then pag nag-manufacture yung factory, paglabas nun, automatically formatted siya doon sa kung ano yung magiging gusto mong kulay. That's the general idea of how constructor works. So, let's look naman on its technical aspect. A Java constructor is a special method. It's just a method, pero special, that is called when an object is instantiated. In other words, when you use the new keyword. So when we say constructor, it's nothing but a method, but rather a special one. Kasi nga, na-invoke lamang siya sa tuwing gagawa tayo ng instance ng isang bagong object, or whenever you use the keyword new. So for example, sa tuwing gagawa tayo ng instance ng scanner class, yung system.in na nilalagay natin after ng new keyword is yung actual value na pinapasa natin sa constructor na scanner. Anong ibig sabihin? Pakita natin. So, di ba, kapag gagawa tayo ng scanner class o ng scanner object, tatawagin natin yung scanner class scan. Actually, hanggang dito lang yung part ng creation ng object. Itong equal new scanner, and then up to this system.in, itong part na to is actually yung constructor na tinatawag natin. Yung system.in, ito yung default na value na ipinapasa natin dito sa scanner na to, pero hindi ito yung class. Ito yung tinatawag nating constructor. Okay? So, ipapakita natin yan more mamaya. And as I've said before, the purpose of a Java constructor is to initialize the newly created object before it is used. Here's an example that creates an object which results in the class constructor being called. So we have my class, kagaya kanina scanner, and then yung object scan is equals to new, and then yung pangalan ng ating constructor, which is scanner then. This example results in a new myClass object being created and the no-argument constructor of myClass to be called. So mapapasin ninyo, walang value na nakalagay doon sa loob ng parameters ng constructor. Ang tawag natin sa mga ito is no-arg o no-argument constructor or simply empty constructors. A Java Class Constructor initializes instances or objects of that class. Typically, the constructor initializes the fields of the objects that needs initialization. Java constructors can also take parameters, so field can be initialized in the object at creation time. Remember, ang mga ini-initialize ng ating constructor is the data members, but not all. Yung mga pinaka-importante lang na data members na dapat natin lagyan ng initial value. So here's a simple Java Constructor declaration example. The example shows a very simple Java class with a single constructor. So in here, ito yung ating class. So public class, my class, ito yung pangalan ng ating class, and then curly braces. So sa loob ng ating class, meron tayong constructor na ang pangalan din ay my class. So ang kanyang access modifier is also public. So public, my class. Ang ruling kasi sa pag-create ng constructor, although alam ko i-discuss yan mamaya, is kung ano yung pangalan ng ating class, yun din yung magiging pangalan ng ating constructor. And ang isang constructor is kagaya lang siya ng method. Kamukhang-kamukha na method, tingnan nyo, tumatanggap siya ng parenthesis. Ibig sabihin, pwede tayong maglagay ng parameter. Pero ang only difference niya sa method is wala siyang return type. Hindi ka maglalagay dito ng void, ng int, and so on and so forth. The first part of the Java Constructor declaration is an access modifier. The access modifier have the same meanings as for methods and fields. They determine what classes can access the call to the constructor. Pero madalas nakapublic tayo kapag sa mga constructor kasi need nating ma-access yung constructor kung balak nating mag-create ng isang object. The second part of a Java Constructor declaration is the name of the class the constructor belongs to. Using the class name for the constructor signals to the Java compiler that this is a constructor. So sinabi ko na yan kanina. Ang pinakamadaling technique kapag gumagawa tayo ng isang constructor is that a constructor will take the name of the class. So kung ang class name mo ay car, then ang constructor name mo will be also car. The third part of a Java Constructor declaration is the list of parameters the constructor can take. The constructor parameters are declared inside the parentheses after the class name part of the constructor. So same lang, no? Kung paano tayo gumagawa ng parameter para sa mga methods, ganun lang din yung para sa mga constructors. Mag-specify lang tayo ng data type, then followed by a parameter variable. We just have to separate them by commas if marami tayong parameter na ilalagay. In the construction declaration example above, no parameters are declared. The fourth part of a Java Constructor declaration is the body of the constructor. The body of the constructor is defined inside the curly braces or curly brackets after the parameter list. Sa loob ng curly braces or body ng constructor, doon natin gagawin ang initialization ng ating mga data members based sa mga values na isusupply mula doon sa mga parameters list. In the constructor example above, the constructor has no operations inside the constructor body. It is said to be an empty constructor. So kung wala kang parameters, then typically wala ding laman yung body ng constructor mo. Kaya tatawagin natin siyang empty constructor. We will now create a Java program to demonstrate how to create an empty constructor in Java. So I have here prepared already a car class and a constructor demo class. So gagawa ngayon tayo ng empty constructor. Very simple. Just have to type public and then car, open and close parentheses, and then that's it. So, ganito lang ang pag-create natin ng empty constructor. So, kapag gagawa ngayon tayo ng instance ng isang car, for example, car 1 would be equals to new and then car, open and close parentheses, and then semicolon. So, kada tinatawag natin itong new car, ang nai-invoke dito is yung method na to. Bilang patunay, hindi lang naman initialization yung pwedeng ilagay dyan. Pwede kang maglagay ng mga methods. So, pag sinabi kong system.out.print, for example, car object successfully created, and then we save. So, kapag nirun natin ngayon to, may makikita tayong output dito na car object successfully created. Kasi nga, nung nag-create tayo ng instance ng car, which is car1, at in-invoke natin tong car na to, ito yung constructor, pumasok siya sa loob ng method na to at ginawa niya yan. Okay? So that is how we create an empty constructor. Okay, next topic naman natin is constructor overloading. Since ang constructor ay method, no? Kung ang method pwede nating i-overload, ang constructor pwede rin natin silang i-overload. A class can have multiple constructors as long as their signature or yung parameters that they take are not the same. You can define as many constructors as you need. When a Java class contains multiple constructors, we say that the constructor is overloaded or comes in multiple versions. Remember the very reason kung bakit tayo nag-overload. It is to make multiple copy ng iisang method na tatanggap ng iba't ibang parameters. Kasi upon object creation, hindi naman natin alam kung ano-ano yung mga magiging available na data na pwede natin i-provide sa constructor. So if mag-create tayo ng maramihang versions, may iiwasan nating mag-error yung ating constructor kung sakaling hindi pare-parehas yung mga values na ipapasa natin sa kanila. Here's an example of constructor overloading in Java. So, ito pa rin siya, public class, my class, and then dito, nag-create siya ng isang data member na private, ang pangalan is number, at ang data type niya is integer, may initial value siya na 0. Ito yung kanyang empty constructor. Sa public, my class, open and close parenthesis, at walang laman yung kanyang empty constructor. And then sa ilalim, meron ulit siyang version ng same constructor, my class, at tatanggap siya ng isang parameter na integer, ng pangalan is the number, at yung the number na yon is ini-equal niya doon sa data member niya na number. So may mapapansin kayo ditong this, no? This number. I-discuss ko yan mamaya sa susunod na slide. The Java class above contains two constructors. The first constructor is a no-arg constructor or an empty constructor, meaning it takes no parameters or no arguments. The second constructor takes an integer parameter inside the constructor body. The integer parameter value is assigned to the field, meaning the value of the parameter is occupied into the field. The field is thus initialized to the given parameter value. The keyword this in front of the field name, this one, this.number, is not necessary. It just signals to the compiler that it is the field name number that is being referred to. Yung this keyword na to is ginagamit natin siya para di ma-confuse yung compiler, lalo na kung yung parameter variable natin is kaparehas ng pangalan ng data member natin. This refers to the current class. So yung mga this dyan followed by the variable name, it pertains to the data member. If hindi parehas yung naming convention natin do sa mga data members natin at saka yung mga parameter variables, hindi tayo magkakaroon ng issue about dyan. So, kaya kahit wala tayong this keyword, pwede yan, basta't hindi parehas, no, yung mga name. Mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo kung anong ibig sabihin. You call a constructor when you create a new instance of the class containing the constructor. Here's an example of constructor call. My class var is equals to new my class. Na-discuss na natin kanina, no? This example invokes call to a no-argument constructor for my class as defined earlier. So kapag ganito tayo nag-create ng object, yung empty constructor yung maloload kasi hindi naman tayo naglagay ng argument. Pero kung naglagay ka dito for example ng number, yung isang constructor yung tatawagin niya. Kasi nga naka-overload tayo. So ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. So in case na naglagay tayo ng number kagaya ng 1975, no, yung isang constructor yung maloload. Kasi nga naka-overload tayo. So we will now going to create a Java program to demonstrate how to overload a constructors in Java. Okay, so let's start. or empty constructor. So, kung gusto natin gumawa ng isa pang version ng constructor, madali lang yan. So, public car, and then open and close, parenthesis, and then curly braces. At dito, i-overload natin. Ngayon, nag-error pa yan kasi parehas pa yung nakikita niya. Pero pag nag-overload na tayo, hindi na yan magkakaroon ng issue. Pwede tayo mag-set dito ng string model, kagaya nito. And then, pwede tayo mag-set dito ng string color. And then, pwede tayo maglagay dito ng int seats at saka int doors. Pagkatapos, ito yung magiging parameter value ng ating constructor. Okay? Ngayon, dito, sa loob ng ating constructor, pwede tayo mag-initialize. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina. Since ang pangalan ng ating data member is model, kagaya nito, model, at yung pangalan din ng ating parameter is model, mag-error yan kapag tinype mo lang is model is equals to model. Yung ginagawa kasi natin dito, yung parameter value na model, kinukuha natin yung laman niya at gusto nating ipasa doon sa ating data member na model. So, mag-error yan, no? Kaya kailangan nating ilagay yung this. So, pag sinet natin ng this, actually sa color code pa lang halata na eh. Ito, kulay blue. Ito, kulay, brown. So, ibig sabihin nito, yung parameter variable na to, kung ano man yung pumasok na value sa kanya, isi-set natin dun sa value ng ating data model. So, ngayon, kung gusto mo naman, pwede mong palitan yung pangalan nito. Kunwari, param model, no? Parameter model, hindi parang model. Pwede na yung wala. So, model is equals to param model. So, if ganito yung magiging code natin, walang issue yan. Tingnan nyo, kulay blue to, kulay brown yon. Kasi nga, magkaiba sila ng pangalan. Pero kung parehas yung pangalan na ginamit ninyo, no, mako-confuse kasi yung compiler, kaya kailangan nating ilagay yung keyword na this to pertain that this is the current class which is car, meaning yung model under dun sa class na car. So, ganun lang yung pattern. So, this dot color would be equal, syempre, dun sa color. And then, isiset na rin natin yung this dot seats would be equal to, syempre, seats. And then, this dot doors will be also equal dun sa doors. So, this is an example of our constructor. So, kung gusto mo naman gumawa ng empty constructor, kunwari model, pwede nating iset to ng generic. Okay? Pwede tayo mag-set ng static values, no? Although, pwede nating gawin yan dito sa taas, dito. Pero, pwede rin naman sa constructor para kapag in-invoke mo, dun pa lang sila lalagyan na laman. Tapos, color, for example, white. Okay? And then, seats by default, kunwari 4. And then, ang doors, kunwari by default 4. So, pagka nag-invoke tayo ng empty, ito yung magiging initial value nila. Pero kapag nag-supply tayo ng mga values upon creation, ito yung may invoke, no? So, bilang patunay, ito yung pinakamadaling test, no? Para ipaalam sa inyo, ipakita kung saan siya pumasok sa dalawa. Ipiprint natin yung empty kapag dito siya pumasok at ipiprint natin yung not empty kapag dito siya pumasok. Okay? Pero tatanggalin din natin yan mamaya just for testing. So, car 1 is equals to new car. So, pag ginawa ko to, makikita ko dyan yung empty. Pero, pwede ko nang i-print system.out.print yung value ng car1 So, di ba nilagyan ko to ng initial value kanina na white. So, dun ngayon siya papasok. Yun yung purpose kung bakit tayo gumawa ng empty constructor. Ayan o, white. Kasi nga, yun yung sinet natin kapag wala siyang nilagay. Ngayon, paano naman kung nag-set siya gawa pa tayo ng isa, car2. So, car2 would be equal to new and then car. Anong pwede natin i-supply dito? 4 na bagay. Una, yung model. Pwede tayong maglagay ng Toyota. Okay? Color, for example, would be gray. And then, a sedan with 4 seaters or actually 5 seaters yon with 4 doors. Okay? So, pwede natin gawin to. and semicolon. Kapag ginawa natin to, ang may invoke naman dyan would be yung not empty. Okay? So, actually, magdidikit yung dalawang yan, kaya gagawin ko tong print line. Ito yung lagi ko nakakalimutan. So, save. Kapag nirun natin yan, yung una, pupunta siya sa empty, pero yung pangalawa, dun siya sa not empty. Again, ito, pag in-invoke mo to, dito yung punta niya kasi hindi ka naman naglagay ng parameter. Pero dito sa isang constructor, since naglagay ka ng mga initial value, dito yung magiging punta niya. So, ngayon, ang advantage naman is kapag nag-print out ka, so system.out.print, and then tinawag mo yung car2.model, for example, automatic, hindi mo na kailangang iset ng isa-isa kasi upon creation, ginawa na yan ng constructor para sa'yo. Nilagyan na niya ng initial value yung mga data members o yung mga properties natin. So, ganun nag-work yung constructor natin. Okay? So, next naman, last na to. Pero, marami pa yan. What if sir, ang available data ko lang is yung model lang. Ito lang, kunwari yung Toyota lang. Pwede ba yun? Yes. Kung naiisip mo ay what if yun lang yung ipinrovide ng user, maraming overload ang pwede natin gawin dito. Ang ibig sabihin, ang mga version ng overload na gagawin natin, isang empty, tapos isang constructor na tatanggap lang ng model, isang constructor na tatanggap lang ng model at ng color, isang constructor na tatanggap ng seats, ng color at ng model, at itong kompleto. So, ganun karaming times yung ideal na paggawa ng constructor para lang hindi ito mag-error para lang hindi siya mag-error. Pero yung pagkakasunod-sunod ng mga yan, hindi natin pwedeng palitan. So, kung model yan, isiset natin na yung model would be equal to this dot model. And then the rest would be default. So, ang point dito is kung overloaded yan, kung nag-create ulit ako ng instance ng car3 at equal yan sa isang new, again, invoke natin yung constructor. Pag sinabi ko dito Mitsubishi, and then isa lang yung parameter na nilagay ko, hindi pa rin yan mag-error. Kasi nga, nag-create ako ng version ng constructor na tatanggap lang ng isang parameter. Magkakaroon tayo ng problema dyan kasi hindi ko pa ginagawa. Okay? Pero, I leave it to you, no? Kayo na yung gagawa nun. Na kung naglagay ako dito ng red, so dalawang parameter, nag-error yan kasi wala tayong ganitong version ng constructor. Yung tatanggap lang ng dalawang parameters. Okay? So, ito na yung kabuuan na nakapag-create na tayo ng mga ng empty constructor at saka ng constructor with a parameter and nakapag-overload na rin tayo ng constructor. Next, throwing exceptions. So, yes, it is possible to throw an exception from a Java constructor. Here is an example of Java class with a constructor that can throw an exception. So, bakit tayo magto-throw ng exception doon sa ating mga constructor? Kasi nga may tendency siyang mag-error. So, how do we do that? So, we have public class car, for example, and then yung ating constructor na to, kunwari string brand, no? Ilalagay lang natin yung keyword na throws exception after nung ating parameter. Kagaya lang ng method, no? Nagawa na natin to dati. Ngayon, if yung brand is equals to null, ibig sabihin walang pumasok, then gagawa lang tayo, no? Naalala niyo yung way na to, we will just going to create a new exception and then magpiprint lang tayo ng the brand parameter cannot be null. Ngayon, kapag hindi ka nag-supply ngayon ng value na brand dito, imbis na makikreate siya, magto-throw siya ng exception. Notice the throws exception part of the constructor declaration. That part declares that the constructor may throw an exception. If that happens, the created car instance is not valid. Here's an example of calling the car constructor. So, kung nagawa na natin yung declaration kanina, ganito naman yung gagawin natin. Pagka mag-create na tayo ng instance ng car class. In case an exception is thrown from the car constructor, the car variable will never be assigned to a reference to the car object you are trying to create, the car variable will still point to null. So, for example, nag-create tayo ng instance ng isang car class. So, car is equals to null. Ngayon, try. So, try, and then car is equals to new car. So, may comment dito na do something with car object, and then catch, exception E, and then pwede ka maglagay dito ng code para i-handle yung exception na yon. Okay? So, try catch lang din. Making a constructor throw an exception can be good idea if you want to prevent an object of the given class to be created in an invalid state. Typically, it is the input parameters to the constructor that may cause the object to be invalid. If the constructor detects an invalid input parameter, then it can throw an exception and prevent the assignment of the object to any variable. So to summarize, do we need to use exception sa mga constructors? The answer is, kung gusto mong foolproof yung class na ginagawa mo, then you should consider doing it. Kasi kapag mali yung naging input mo sa parameter mo during creation at wala kang exception handling, may tendency kasing masira yung object na i-create mo. At nagko-cause yun para mag-fail yung ating program. Since na-discuss naman natin dati yung exception handling, hindi ko na i-demo yung topic na ito. Actually, mas maganda kung gagawin itong assignment kasi nga wala na akong mga magiging pa-activity from this point forward. So, it's up to you to further explore yung part na to. May mga nilagay naman kasi akong example dito sa mga slide na to para maging guide kung paano nyo siya pwedeng gawin. So, hindi na ako nagiging spoon-fed ng pakonti-konti. So, nandito naman yung example, kung paano i-declare yung exception at kung paano siya posibleng saluhin. I hope you learned something sa lesson nating ito, and that's the end of lesson 19. Credits to tutorials.gencov.com as the main source of the content in this tutorial.
If you loved this video, kindly drop a thumbs up and subscribe. Thank you.